going on? Rob here, jack of all trades, master of none. Right now we're in my Frigidaire refrigerator right here. If you see, the food temp is blinking. The actual freezer, I'm going here. The actual freezer, the ice was melted all over the floor, and then the food in here was just warm. So what I did is I reset it. To reset it, all you do is open both doors, and then after you open both doors, you unplug it. They say for 30 seconds, I leave it for 5 minutes, then you plug it back in. Well, the freezer's working again, and then what I noticed is right in here, it sounds like there's a fan, and the fan tries to spin or hits for like 30 seconds, and then the fan shuts off. So I believe the fan inside there for the refrigerator went out. So I'm looking in here. I'm gonna pull all these screws off right now. I'll get you the model, but I'm gonna pull all these screws off right now, and then we'll see what's gonna be underneath this. I'll let you know what kind of screwdrivers I used and everything. But this is the Frigidaire. It's a Frigidaire. Let me see if the model number's up here. Frigidaire model FRS 6LF7F88 or 7FBB. I'll take a picture of that, but that's a model number. And like it says, my conspiracy theory, jack of all trades, master of none, is that the is beeping right now, but that'll go off after I reset it. But the fan right here is what went out for the refrigerator. After I reset it, the freezer is working fine now. It's just the refrigerator side that's out. So let's take that off. All right, you can see I'm getting everything down here. I'm taking it apart. I took the water filter out right here. All right, you need a 1/4 inch long ratchet. This is 1/4 inch because all these little in the deep pockets right here, that's 1/4 inch. There's one, you'll see them right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and here's the catch 22 right here. All right, the back one came down already, but the back one all the way in the back, you have to unscrew, and then this right here snaps out from here. And then there's another socket, 1/4 inch socket all the way back here, and that's the final one that's holding this whole thing in right here. So that's the catch 22. You'll get all these other ones out and not figure out why this one's coming down. Well, you got to take the back part off first, and then there's another socket all the way in there, 1/4 inch. And there you have it. Bob's your uncle. It's all fixed. Yeah, right. I wish it's still plugged in. Guess you should have unplugged it right here. Believe it or not, I think this was worked on or not put together properly because there were 2 screws that were already missing. You need there's 4 Phillips screws that would be there, but we only had 2. But this is the plug to unplug this whole part right here. So this section could come out, and there's the fan back there that went out. That's the fan that went out. I know that for a fact because you could hear it. So right now, all the air from the freezer side, you feel it right here, is just coming over here and it's not being controlled on a controlled blow over here, and that's really the only thing that went out because the freezer's working. Or these are the water lines right here to actually come into clean the water, but this is unplugged right here. But I really don't want to unplug those all the way because I don't want those dripping, okay? And there's no way to get those out. If you, you could disconnect these. There's ways to get them out, but I don't want to get a leak right here. Believe it or not, if I leave this off, that right there with the refrigerator door closed will allow more air in than with that on right there. So what I'm gonna do is start taking off. I'm gonna unplug that, spin that this way, and start taking off that fan so I can take it to an appliance shop, see if I can find that part. All right, trying to get to the motor here. This right here, the styrofoam is taped on in 2 pieces. I can't really see that far back. There's the motor right here. The styrofoam is taped on it like this. So if you pull the tape back all the way around, the styrofoam comes off, and you got better access to the motor right there. And with the styrofoam off, you can pull it a little further back. There's a white line coming from the freezer side back there. I didn't know where it was being plugged in at, so that's why I'm trying to take it off piece by piece to find out where I could unplug that and have more room. But this right here was taped on to the motor, taped onto the whole bracket back there. So you pull the tape off and this comes out, and then it gives you a little bit more access. All right, I'm gonna plug the refrigerator in. This actually might not be a fan right here. I'm looking at this. This is probably the gear that opens this up to let the cold air into this side. but this is what's going out, what went out right here. It's not allowing this to open up. So hopefully it's not like a stripped plastic gear. Hopefully this is just going out. See, hear it? This right here is what's popping and not allowing that to open up. So that's why the refrigerator is not keeping cold. So hopefully this mechanism, you know, we can find it as an extra part somewhere. And there you are, Bob's your uncle. This right here, I'll show you, it actually just slides right out the rest of the styrofoam. And there's only 3 wires that, and actually it is not a fan. It opens and closes the door to the freezer to regulate the temperature. Now there's the freezer right there. And you feel the cold air coming through there. So without this on, after I screw everything in, I guarantee you the refrigerator will get cold again, because everything in the freezer is cold. But for it to regulate the temperature in the refrigerator, this is what needs to be replaced. So it is not a fan. It actually opens and closes the door to the freezer whenever the temperature needs to go up. So I'm gonna screw all this stuff back together, and the refrigerator will actually stay cold. But I'm gonna take this to the appliance shop tomorrow to see if I can find it, or see if I can find. There's a part number, a model number right there. See if I can find this part. Okay, one thing here, the Phillips screws I told you to unscrew. You may or may not have to unscrew them, but the problem I encountered was this whole part right here for the water filter slid all the way back. The screw goes in here and in here, and that's what holds the this part right here, so where you push the filter in and it plugs into right here. Now I had to screw it all back into place, but it was kind of a mother trying to line that up and screw that in place, because this whole bar popped out of these right here. So I just put that in, so if you don't have to unscrew it, don't unscrew those pieces. Right now I'm leaving everything disconnected, but I'm just screwing it back in together for right now, so I know exactly where it goes, so I get my part in. Well, what do you know, the damper is right there and the damper is right there. My honey found it. She's searching on her phone and she found the damper at Amazon. I'm trying to go back here. She found the damper on Amazon.com. It's a Frigidaire damper. What's the model number? Can you read me the model number? MD. Hold on, here we go. 20 dash 7001. And it's a Frigidaire damper, and my honey found it on Amazon.com for $52.50. I'm gonna have her order it right now, and we'll have it in 2 days. I'm putting everything together right now with the 1/4 inch. I'm just putting it up there where it's gonna be up there till the damper comes in. But believe it or not, the refrigerator should actually work now, but it's not gonna be controlled, so stuff might get too cold. But that's better right now than not having anything at all. All right, well, thanks for watching. When the part comes in, I'll show you installing the part. But right now, that's the part. When you put it in the freezer, believe it or not, this morning, everything was melting in the freezer, melting everything else. So I'm like, what the hell's going on? And then I went to take all the ice out first, the first thing I do, so all the water stopped dripping. And then if you open both doors and unplug it and leave it, I leave it for like maybe 2 minutes, 3 minutes, then leave the doors open, plug it in, and then close the doors, it resets the refrigerator. And when it reset the refrigerator, I heard all that grinding. So I'm like, oh, I opened the refrigerator, put my head in there, opened the freezer to find out where the grinding was, and it was back there where the damper was. Now it felt a tiny bit of air coming through, but the freezer one was a lot more. So that's why I figured it was something with that. I thought it was a fan, but it's not a fan, it's just a damper. It don't push air into the refrigerator, it just allows air to go in the refrigerator. So I'm gonna put everything back together. Hopefully you learned something, hopefully you can fix it yourself too. Thank you, bye-bye. There you are, Bob's your uncle. Don't forget, subscribe, please. Anything that breaks around my house, I fix myself. So I try to show you how to go ahead and repair it. But everything else is back in. The extremely long screw that you get out goes all the way in the back corner. I tried putting it through the top, it goes all the way in the back corner. Everything's put together right now. Believe it or not, there's more air coming through here now because the damper is taken off. With the beeping, I'm gonna go ahead and reset it. But it's probably still gonna keep beeping now because it's not, it's missing a part right now. So it's telling you there's something wrong. So that'll probably be an annoying as crap. But We found the part online and everything. Amazon has it for $52.50, but it's not going to be here for about 5 or 6 days. So we're going to check a local appliance spot to see if they have it there. Probably more money, but I can probably get it Monday tomorrow and then put it in. But here we were already searching for, you know, a new refrigerator, and it was just the damper that broke. All right. Thank you very much for watching, and subscribe. Thank you. Bye-bye. Go ahead and keep an eye out for part 2. On part 2 of this, I actually rebuild the damper. I use some epoxy and rebuild the damper. So look for part 2 on how I rebuilt the damper.